Current amulet is being researched. We see the charge is being researched, and we see that more troops are being produced. And meanwhile, see that just man, IbaneZ is just continuing to move out with the troops, and he just has no idea. He has no idea about this expansion here that he could just easily snipe if he knew about it. And I have to say, this isn't IbaneZ's fault. I think any even pro players would fall to a hidden expo like this and not even think about it. He's just, IbaneZ is just so on the warpath. He really thinks that, I got the win now. I just need to push out. I have superior macro, and I can just push out. But he doesn't have superior macro. And as we can see, these zealots moving across, and they're going to continue to harass. And I just don't know that IbaneZ is going to be able to continue to hold this off. So IbaneZ is just, he's pounding away at the gateways. He's going to try to take them out. XKraL just kind of holding his forces back, and I think that overall XKraL is playing the better game here. He's playing the sneaky game. He is playing a risky game, and if he is found out, he will lose very, very quickly, in my opinion. But for now, he has not been found out. And we have a shuttle moving across, and it looks like, let's see where it's going. It's going to the back door. It's going to be dropping off some units. But we see that we see that these tanks are just pounding away at the Cybernetics core. And here we go. IbaneZ has now decided, you know what, I've got enough troops. I'm going to move in on what I believe to be XKraL's only base, and I'm going to take care of business. And I expect that we'll see XKraL do something soon. He's going to lose the Cybernetics core if he doesn't act soon. I guess he doesn't really need the Cybernetics core, as he has everything he needs. He is, I don't know what he's waiting for. He's waiting for a couple more Immortals, it looks like. Oh, throwing down some storms on there, and it looks like he can quite a few units with those storms. But he is losing all of his probes, and he's not pulling his probes back. I'm not sure what's going on there. And meanwhile, he's got this unit up here, just kind of chilling up here, scouting out what's going on, and he needs to drop some units with it. But it looks like XKraL has now decided to take care of business. And look at this, he is taking out down below with all of his units, and he is taking out the attacking units, and now down to only Marauders against Immortals. And I'll tell you what, Marauders against Immortals, anybody who's been there, we know how that ends. And these Marauders are going to be cleaned up handily, able to take out, almost able to take out one more of those, but not able to finally. And XKraL morphing an Archon after using up all of the energy on those Templars, which, it's very that's very handy to be able to do that. I always say, like, throwing them out like tissue paper. If only tissue paper could turn into an Archon, then it would make a lot more sense. But meanwhile, we see a Zealot for XKraL sitting up here at the Xel'Naga Watchtower watching things, and I really don't, I don't think that that IbaneZ realizes where he is right now. And it looks like the Templar Archives was sniped, so XKraL throwing down a second Templar Archives, and XKraL is completely mined out his main, but he has breached the contain, and he will be able to expand again. So I'm wondering if he will choose to expand close to IbaneZ and hold that contain and keep his troops defending his expansions, or if he's going to choose to expand in his natural. I'd be interested to see that. Meanwhile, we see that more troops being built for IbaneZ and moving out. Let's check that. We're already on the production tab, so we're checking that again. We see a Raven coming out. We see 2 Immortals coming out. We see that Protoss ground armor level 1. Let's check the weapons upgrades, what we got going on here. We see that weapon upgrade 1. Oh, stimming back. There's some kind of attack back here. Oh, attack on the main. They have to stim to get back, and this is a devastating force. When you see that many Immortals, you know how quick buildings go down to Immortals. It doesn't matter if they buff the HP on buildings or not. Immortals are devastating to buildings, and they're devastating to Marauders too. He really needs to swap. Yeah, there's a GG from IbaneZ, and in the end, I have to say that the main reason that this happened was that IbaneZ didn't scout. Now, I hate to blame IbaneZ for what occurred here, because XKraL did play a sneaky expo, and I think that everybody that's played StarCraft 2, not professionally, but in ladder matches for any time, has fallen prey to a hidden expansion. And that being said, it is so important, and we see it time and time again with the pros, sending scouts to each and every base. We can even see on the map that, this base right here was never scouted, but even over here, this base, I'm not sure who scouted it, but it was scouted at least once by one player. And it is important to keep an eye on these, to keep an eye on what's going on the map. And obviously with the Xel'Naga Watchtowers, you can watch the high-yield minerals on this map, but it is so important with when you're playing a 2-player matchup on this map, it is so important to check the expansions, and I think that IbaneZ or XKraL should have even been checking here, because when IbaneZ pushed the contain on him, he didn't even think to maybe send a Marine back here and check right here, because maybe there's an expansion here. Obviously at this point in the game, that's not a very smart play, but still, to check it at some point, check these expansions, take a look and see what's going on, and I think this is, I'm saying this not for the pro gamers. I'm not saying this for the diamond players, because the diamond players, they know how to play. I'm saying this for the bronze and the silver players, because bronze, silver, gold players, you're going to see a lot more hidden expansions. Like, this is a pretty rare occurrence that XKraL put this down, and it was mainly because he was being contained, and he had sent his probe out, and he threw down his pylon here, and then he came back, and he threw down this expansion here, because at the point where he had put this pylon up here, that's when the contain went down, and he said, I need to get my expansion, and I need it right now, so I'm going to throw it up, and I'm going to throw it somewhere, I'm going to hide it. So this was a pretty uncommon occurrence at this level of gameplay. These are diamond players that we're dealing with here. So, but on the bronze, silver, and gold, it is extremely common because players are not as good at obviously containing and holding their front line. So it's a lot more common for, say, a player to spawn here and throw an expo up over here, because he says, okay, I'm going to hide it there because my other player won't find it. So if you're on the bronze, silver, and gold, just keep in mind how important scouting is, not only in the early game, but also in the late game and the mid game. You need to keep your scouting up. You need to keep your information up. You need to keep checking all those expansions. And once again, this one right here, not scouted at all. And these are diamond players, so it happens to everybody. So just keep in mind when you're playing your games and it gets into the mid, the late game, send one probe out. How many SCVs and probe died in this match? How much does it cost? 50 minerals. Just send it out, check every base. And for IbaneZ, if he had spent that 50 minerals to scout, it would have saved him the game. He definitely would have won the game if he was able to see this expansion. So, that being said, I'm going to try to cast another game for you guys and get it loaded for you as soon as possible, and I'll see you guys next time.